Hello everybody, my name is Ademiluyi. I'm a Lagos-based, Nigerian-based freelance journalist. Now, let me go down memory lane. I was privileged to attend King's College Lagos, a federal government college for boys school in Nigeria. It was founded in 1909 and patterned after Eton College in the United Kingdom. I was a bright student, I was an art student, and I was privileged to represent the college in all the art competitions. In the year 2000, when I was just 15 years old, I was on television in a popular quiz competition called Bovita Brain Match, where I and the science guy became third in the competition. Overall, we came first. My role model then was Chief Gani Faremi Sam. I was drawn to human rights because I was interested in the rights of the masses and the rights of the oppressed. So my dream then was to study law and then become a renowned human rights activist. My dream came true when I finished King's College. In just one attempt in WAEC, JAMB and NECO, I was admitted to the University of Lagos in 2002 to study law. Now, when I got into university to study law, I was involved in politics and I took my studies very seriously. Unfortunately, due to some reasons which I cannot explain, my grades kept going down with every passing semester. My grade point was extremely low. I thought I could easily make a first class or very worst a 2-1, but my grades did not reflect that aspiration. In my third year in 2005, after the burial of my grandmother, I had my first mental health episode. I can remember vividly that I went to a church, St. Anthony's Catholic Church, Baja in Surulere. For those of you who know Lagos very well, it's a very prominent Catholic church in Lagos. I went there and I was carrying a cross where I was chanting, I want to be on air, I want to be on air. And then I woke up and found myself at the Federal Psychiatric Hospital in Yaba, popularly known as Yaba Left. That was in 2005. I was barely 20 years old, not out of my teens. I was there for about 3 months. I was discharged. But I couldn't go back to the Faculty of Law because they had already gone far in the academic year. So I deferred my admission by 1 year. That same year, I went to Benin to be with my maternal grandparents. And that was where my mom was always urging me to write the biography of my grandpa. That was when I discovered that I had writing skills. And I also had communication and organizational skills. You know, I didn't talk about the side effects of the drugs. The side effect of the drugs in my first hospitalization was that I found it very difficult to read and assimilate things. I complained to the doctor, but the doctor said my assimilation ability will come with the passage of time, that I should be patient. Unfortunately, I couldn't read and assimilate things, and I couldn't even read newspapers anymore. I was an avid newspaper reader, being that my father was a veteran journalist at the time. So when I was in Benin, I did the biography of my grandpa, and I was drawn to writing, and I discovered that I could write and I could organize people to achieve goals. So I decided that I was going to be a journalist. When I came back to Lagos in 2006, I did the unthinkable by switching courses from law to English. That pitched me against my dad, who was vehemently against my wanting to follow his footsteps because the remuneration for a journalist in Nigeria is very poor, and he was concerned about my financial future. But I stuck to my guns, and then I was able to switch. When I went to English, I started contributing for newspapers. I started writing opinion articles and stories for all the newspapers in the country. I started having a database of all the editors, you know. Let me also mention that at this point, because of the side effect of the drugs, I stopped taking my medications against doctor's advice. I just stopped abruptly. I didn't have problems. I went for my national. I graduated from University of Lagos with a 7th-class upper degree in 2009. I went for the compulsory National Youth Service Corps between 2010 and 11 in Sherwari. You know, and it was fun. I got my first job in an NGO in Lagos when I came back from youth service. And the following year in 2012, I had a relapse because, like I said, I stopped taking my job for about 7 years. So I had my first relapse, which made me to resign from my place of work abruptly. I was hospitalized for the second time in 2014. At the time, the doctors in the psychiatric hospitals were on strike. So I was taken to a private psychiatric hospital where the quality of service was much better than what I experienced in Yaba, where they don't even allow phones or books or any form of recreation. I was there for 3 months and I got better and I resolved to take my drugs. I got back to the working scene. I got a job in 2 online newspapers and a national newspaper. In 2018, I had my third relapse. I stopped taking my drugs again because I found it very difficult to take it on a daily basis, twice daily. So I had my third relapse in 2018 and I was admitted to Yaba left again. But this time around, I vowed that I would never be away from my medication, that I always take it and comply with the doctor's instructions and orders. So since 2018 till now, I've been stable. I've been a journalist, I've been a writer, I've been written an unpublished novel so far. But I decided this year that I was going to be an activist. I was going to use my communication skills, my journalism skills, my contact and my network to be the voice of the mentally challenged in Africa. Because I discovered that why should HIV drugs be free in Nigeria, for instance, and then psychiatric drugs are very expensive. I go to the psychiatric hospital. Yes, I'm privileged that I have a bit of income to easily afford my own medications. But there are so many patients there who cannot afford the medications and they relapse. Some have to resort to begging and all sort of indignities just to stay alive and afloat. So I decided that I was going to be an activist, So I put together a team and then we launched a website which is www.africavoiceshq.com. It's the first of its kind in the entire African continent, whereby we intend to explore issues exclusively around mental health. I've been getting some support from some psychiatrists, both at home and abroad. I've been getting a lot of support from some activists, both at home and abroad. And the journey, even though challenging, because like every great project, it will not exempt you from the challenges. It's been very fulfilling for me. Each time I pick up my pen to write, each time I go to the streets to interview patients, I feel very fulfilled doing what I'm doing. So, by the grace of God, it's going to be a Pan-African project. And the Pan-African project is not going to be restrictive to the African continent. It's also going to cover issues around Africans in the diaspora who are mentally challenged. I urge you to support this double cause. I urge you to buy into this project so that together we can defeat the stigmatization and discrimination which the mentally challenged face in Africa.